So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the got it, you mute. If you guys have any questions about the topper, the process, or about the silent auction, um, please let me know. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna turn mine off because it is very distracting. Can we see the auction topper? I wish we could. This was a very last minute situation that I had to come up here, and I also, my husband and I both work from home, and with two golden retrievers, it was a very packed car. So I was going to bring the topper up with me, um, but unfortunately something had to give. And I also wanted to transport it as least as possible to make sure that it stays in good condition. There is a picture, and Mary just dropped the link in there. Thank you. And the picture is in there. And of course, you're welcome to watch the video, which has lots of different views of the topper as well. Uh, there are 4 coconuts in there. 2 of them are like Heidi huts that they can actually go inside. You would put some moss, or if you have captive bred babies, what I do for mine sometimes is put the Mary sells a clay ladder, and the ladder is a really good option to put in there for them to be able to get in and out because it's like a sloped surface and there's not a lot of traction. So I do moss and one of the ladders in there, and they can get in and out pretty easy. And then there's also like 2 coconut. They're not Heidi's. They're like foraging bowls. That's where I'm like a bowl that you can put different foraging materials in. There's a vine and a couple of included plants as well. Right now, you guys are amazing. I was messaging Mary, just absolutely blown away by your guys' support on the silent auction. So currently, the silent auction is at $230. So you can bid in as little increments as $1. So if you're interested, you can bid for $231. It's like the Price is Right style, just go up by $1 each time, and that topper can be yours. As soon as I get back home, we'll get that in the mail for you and get you your tracking. So if you guys have any trouble, I think Tina had an issue with the silent auction. So if she's in here, she can let me know if she's still having issues with it. But it seems to be working for some. I make it look so easy. Well, I tell you what, my first topper that I made, I had a lot of anxiety over, but I think it's like just do the first one, and you'll realize it's really actually not that difficult. In the presentation, do you go over different glues? Yes, 100% silicone with no mold inhibitors is really important. The mold inhibitors can be toxic to hermit crabs, and just what's really important is making sure that the silicone can dry if you already have hermit crabs. And the best way to do that is let it air out. And if you still smell like a vinegar smell with the silicone, then it's typically not cured enough for the crabs. So you want to make sure that there is no scent with it when you smell into it. So when you pushed on the cork bark, did it stay enough to dry flat? Oh yes. So I thought I had put this in the video, but I was actually very nervous that I wasn't going to have enough footage to put together a 30-minute presentation. And when all was said and done, I mean, I filmed like every minute of this entire process. And when I put it all together in like this video editing software, it came to like 75 minutes. And I was like, no, that's not going to work. So I made a lot of cuts to it. I actually had cans of soup and macaroni and cheese boxes that were putting pressure up against the cork to make sure that it would stay against the glass. And that worked fine. I kept that in there for 24 hours and then took those things out. And then I think I let it dry for like another 24 hours on top of that. All right, let's see. Do you have an issue with silicone coming apart in the tank? You know, so not related to the topper, but I do, actually it is related to the topper, just not the one that I built for the silent auction. I used a lot of boxwood, and if you guys don't know what that is, it is a greenery. And it is not webbed, but it is on the back of it has a lot of like vertical lines, like a checkered back, I guess you would say. And I silicone that to the sides and the back of some of my tank and also on my topper. And I found that is not holding up as well as I wish it would be. I'm actually very thankful that I'm going to be moving in the next couple of months, because I'm going to have to take all of the boxwood out, and I will probably instead line the back of the tank with egg crate and then attach the boxwood to that with a zip tie instead. So I will let you guys know how that goes. But other than that, the silicone, I've had zero issue with it. I've had zero issue with any of the cork or anything like heavier. But when I tell you I used a lot of silicone, like I'm not kidding. I used a ton of silicone to make sure that it would stay on there. Do you have a link for the suction cups that you use with the brown vine? Actually, it came with the brown vine, to be honest with you. So yeah, I do not. Do you have a link to the light? I don't. It's the Philips Hue play light, and I can go find it for you real quick and drop it in here. I am a little over the top when it comes to some of the stuff on my crab tank, and I don't have children, so I spend my money on my crabs. And so they have Philips Hue lighting, for those of you who may not know, and they have light strips and play lights, and so they get a simulated sunrise every morning and a simulated sunset every night. And it's really cool because you can choose the colors, and it's a really, really neat effect. I really love the Philips Hue. I'm going to send you the Amazon link because that is what I have. This is the starter kit. So if you don't have any Philips Hue lights, you will need the starter kit because it comes with what they call a bridge. If you already have Philips Hue lights, you can just get the play bar itself or the play light. All right, go back up. Note to self, buy mac and cheese. Listen, mac and cheese comes in handy. Anyone know why they don't have anything 48 by 12? Anything. I wanted a tight seal. Yeah. I don't know. The biggest I can find is 36, 36 by 12. But yeah, you could do two. Grace is absolutely correct. You could totally do 24 by 12s and do two of them. The auction tank 12 by 12. Thank you, Mary. Hey, Savannah. Good to see you. And there's a link. There we go. I think we're caught up on questions. So yeah, feel free to drop them in. Tina, if you want to let me know if the auction link, I don't know if she's in here. I don't think we can see people who are, I can't see people who are actually in here, but if you are in here, if you want to check the link to see if it's working and we can work through that. Yeah, I will tell you guys, I think that the next toppers that I'm going to do, so I have 125 gallon tank, 125 or 150 base tanks, and then I have the 36 by 12 Exoterra on the top of that. And once I added the silicone, the cork, the coconuts, everything else onto it, it's heavy. I mean, it is not lightweight by any stretch of the imagination. And I think that in my new build, when I add a third base tank, I think that I'm going to go with the 24 by 18. Is what I have. Yeah, so I have 36 by 18. I'm sorry, not 36 by 12. And I think I'm going to go with the 24 by 18 instead. What size would be good for a 75 gallon tank? The best thing you can do, I wish I could tell you exactly what would be best for you, but even gallons, when they advertise certain gallons, the dimensions aren't always the same. The best thing that you can do is measure out your tank and then go to Josh's Frogs. They've put together some of the Exoterra tanks and starter kits, and you can find a dimension that would work best for your tank. Oh, good, Tina. I'm glad to hear it. The Amazon link isn't working. Oh, bummer. I'm sorry. Let me know if somebody else has an issue with it. Where do I get acrylic cut? You know, it's funny. We had this conversation last night. Darcy and we were talking, and Andrea, we had a baby talk yesterday. I must have gotten really lucky because I had my acrylic cut at the Lowe's in town, and you know, he's like, what do you need this random piece of acrylic for? Like, that's this small. And I was like, oh, I told him it's a hermit crab thing. But both Darcy and Andrea told me yesterday that they have not had luck at Lowe's or Home Depot getting their acrylic cut. They said that they won't do it for them. So they've had to go to like a smaller mom and pop shop. So what you can probably do is reach out to your Lowe's to see if they do offer glass cutting or acrylic cutting, if they'll do it for you. If not, you'll have to probably go to like a smaller shop. And Darcy gave a great suggestion yesterday that a lot of times you will want to reach out to like a window store, I think is what she had said that she uses in Texas. Hey, Dakota, good to see you. Oh, you sped me up. Oh man, poor thing. Yeah, Milo's cuts acrylic. They had no problem doing it, but it's so interesting that some of them said absolutely not. Has your acrylic warped from heat? Oh, no, it hasn't. It has not. I'll be very honest with you. I actually don't know what thickness I got. I'll have to let you know when I get home. But no, I have not had any issues with it warping or changing size at all, which is great. I just know that the guy was very unhappy with me because I had to take off like a half an inch on one side. And if you guys know, it's very difficult to cut acrylic and glass and like very small. It's much easier if you have to like cut several inches of it. And he was very dissatisfied with my request of cutting off like a half an inch of one side. But I refused to get a new piece because I had pulled out a piece that had been cut previously, and they discount them pretty significantly if they've already been cut and they're like smaller and of not much use for other people. Um, so I wanted to get that discount. Got to save the money where you can, especially when you have Philips Hue lights on your Cravatat. Has anyone tried to do a topper with an aquarium whose bottom is cut out? Regina, or I'm sorry, that's Lily. Lily, you actually don't need to cut out the bottom of the aquarium because you're just going to flip it upside down. So you could just take off the lid of the aquarium. You could, and I do know people who have used aquariums as toppers. You can. Um, they're difficult. They are tricky because you would have to enter in your base tank and then be able to reach up into the topper tank. If you needed to do any type of cleaning or put foraging items, that kind of stuff in there could be really difficult. Condensation is another thing that you want to watch out for. What I like about the Exoterra, or I think even Zilla has them as well, is that they have like ventilation on it. You can cover it up to the amount of ventilation you need to make sure that you have the right humidity. Yeah, Rita has one. She says it's tricky. I would say if you are going to build a new topper and like you don't have the tank already and you have to either buy it or check for one on Facebook Marketplace, my recommendation would be to spring for the one that opens out of the front. Um, would be better. What about getting okay, so much more expensive. Yeah, I will tell you this topper journey, like when I added the topper in my second base tank, it ended up being a lot more expensive than what I thought it was going to be, for sure. Crabbing in general is just a lot more expensive than you would ever imagine it to be. How did I connect or secure the base to the topper again? Great question. So what I did is once my topper was 100% done, ready to go, I used weather stripping, which I got on Amazon, and I lined the top of the topper with the weather stripping. Then I flipped it upside down and put it on the tank. The weather stripping is nice because it'll hold in heat, humidity, and it also is very grippy, so it doesn't move a lot. And then I used Gorilla Black duct tape, like extra strength duct tape, and put like so when I put it on the tank, half of it is on the top or half of it's on the base tank, and it's very, very secure. Like it's not moving. When you can't span the entire tank with a topper, would it be better to have over the pools or does it matter? Ooh, Tasty, that's a good question. So mine does not go over my entire tank. Mine goes over 12 inches of one tank and 24 inches of another tank. I personally don't think I would put mine over a pool. I think that's just like a very personal preference. I don't think that there's any like real big issue with that. But my crabs do regularly fall out of the topper. We talked about this yesterday in our baby talk, and I think it's just like a fact of owning crabs are going to drop out sometimes, and it could be stressful for them. But again, I think that's like me just being a little over dramatic and like overprotective of them. I do not have any issues with the humidity to Danielle with my topper. In fact, the topper helped me with the problems I was having with my humidity. Again, I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a few miles, like 8 miles from the ocean. So it's pretty regularly 90 to 100 degrees, 100% humidity. It rains every single day. So I was having 90, 95% humidity pretty much all the time with a single tank. And the topper tank really helped distribute some of that humidity, and it stays right around 80%. Sometimes it even gets down to like 75, 80%. And I find that my babies absolutely love that. I put a heat pad on there. Thank you. I'll keep. Yeah, look out for a used tank. Honestly, on Facebook Marketplace, I see them all of the time. I got lucky. I did my build. I did in December, and I knew I was going to be doing it, so I went Black Friday shopping for my tanks, and I got a really good deal on my 125 gallon. I think it's normally 750 down here, and I think I paid 400 for it on Black Friday, which I was very happy with. Oh yeah, that's another thing, Christine. Yeah, that's a really good point. I put a lot of like moss, lichen, and leaves and flowers and that kind of stuff in the topper. And if you put that over your pool, you bet your sweet bottom that all of that stuff's going straight in your pool. I have one that likes to drop. Yeah, I think that they do it sometimes for fun. I'm in Ohio. Hey, I was born in Ohio, and I had crabs up there as well, and it was very difficult to keep up high humidity. I totally get the Ohio struggle. I think the best thing you can do is get like a bubbler pool. That was really helpful when I lived up there, and find a pump where you can change the strength of your bubbles. And yeah, it's so funny. In Ohio, I had those things up to 100, and now I'm in Florida, and I turn it down as low as it can go. Mine is over a pool. Condensation. Yeah, condensation will happen as well. Thank you, Grace, for answering Regina's questions. You would know much better than I on those, so thank you for getting those for me. I had a lead on a topper today, and I tried to make a deal since a person had it at MSRP, and they ghosted me. Yeah, it's funny. Facebook Marketplace is really hit or miss. I've been kind of looking for a Peloton treadmill on Facebook Marketplace, and it's really interesting the prices people put used items for. And if I wanted to pay that price, I would just go get a new one. What width was your weather stripping? I believe it was 1/2 inch, if I'm remembering correctly. It was 1/2 inch. Some people have done Velcro. I think Christine, I watched her extreme crab habitat makeover yesterday, which was fantastic, and I believe that she did Velcro on hers. And I mean, she can pop in here in the chat if she is still happy with it, or if she would have done it differently. But I haven't had any issues with my weather stripping, and I don't think it's any less secure because I didn't use the Velcro. So if she feels that hers has done well with the Velcro, then I think it's just a matter of personal preference. There you go. 5-pound strength Velcro. Yeah, the weight of the topper for sure keeps it in place. Like, it is definitely not, like I said, I was very fearful about the integrity of it, but with the weight of it and like the friction of the weather stripping holding it in place and the duct tape, it's certainly not going anywhere. Oh, that's a bummer, Rita. Yeah, I've been really fortunate with my topper. It was very easy once it was on there. I think duct tape is the way to go on around using press and seal. Oh, interesting. Take a look at the. All right, so the silent auction, it looks like it's still at $230. The link to it is pinned by Mary up there, and 100% of those proceeds are going to go to CrabCon and help benefit our CrabCon next year. So if you guys are interested in that topper, make sure you guys go put a bid on it. We have until tomorrow at 4 p.m. So tomorrow at 4 p.m., the silent auction will automatically close, and there's no wheel this time. I feel like there should have been. I love a good wheel, but no wheel this time, and then that person will win. As I mentioned, I am up in Orlando unexpectedly, and I will be back down in Fort Lauderdale this weekend. So next weekend, I will get it out in the mail for you guys. Check the levelness of your. Absolutely, we did that with our 2 tanks. We used. If you guys have a phone, even they have like little levelers on your phone these days, and make sure you do that because you just never know. Also, this is probably a good time to talk about if you are in an apartment like I am, vertical space is probably, really a good option for you as well. But if you are not on the first floor, uh, you will probably want to check with the apartment complex to make sure that your floor can sustain the weight of, especially if you're doing like a topper to add to like a second base tank. So that was something that I had to do. My apartment, it thankfully, is they're very understanding. They think it's like the coolest thing in the world. The maintenance guys come by and they come in and check on them all the time, and they think it's like so cool. And I was like, oh, just wait till I breed them, and you have people in here trying to pick up crabs all the time. But they think it's like the coolest thing. But I checked with them before the structure of the apartment to make sure that the weight of the floor would be able to hold the tanks up, because it's not, with 225-gallon tanks and all of that sand, it is not light. And thankfully, these apartments are well built, and they're actually built with concrete floors, so they can hold. But that's also a really good thing to probably reach out and check with before you do them. It was definitely I've been there too. I never, to be honest, I never even thought about the floor not being able to support the tank until someone called it out when I mentioned that I had added a second tank, and I was like, you know what? It's a great call out. Let me call the office. Let me see what they have to say. And they're like, oh no, it'll be fine. It could hold it. And oh, my goodness, that's the part that I am dreading the most right now with the move, is I'm on the fourth floor at my apartment, and bringing all of that sub up from the ground floor was torture, and bringing it back down is not going to be much easier. We do have an elevator, thank goodness. We do. Yep. Yep. In Florida, anything over 3 floors, they're required to have an elevator. I've also thought about doing probably more unsanctioned, but putting the sub into like a plastic bucket, and like having some like rope mechanism off of our balcony and just lowering it down. I don't know how they'll feel about that though. Have Home Depot deliver. I'm going to need to with my new tank. I'm adding a third base tank, and I think that I might need that. I'll be building my large tank in the basement for that. Yeah, that's smart, honestly. People don't realize that some floors can't do it. I had to lug 4 bags of sand into my attic. Yeah, I totally feel your pain. That's awful. I also have I've had 2 back surgeries, so I have to be kind of careful with how I'm lifting things. So that's why I'm very thankful to have a very supportive husband. He does all of the things that require a lot of muscular work. He brings up my sand for me, and you guys saw him slicing and dicing the coconuts for me with the handsaw. And I told him about my idea to do my new topper and with the new tank when we move. And his first question was, "Do we have to put coconuts in the new topper?" I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. Yeah, make the hubby do the hard. Absolutely, that's why we have them, right? It's yeah, the go. I don't think I'm going to do coconuts on this one actually. I think I'm going to do I think I'm just going to do a choya. You guys are gonna have to tell me, because I've heard people say chola wood, and I've always called it choya. Am I wrong by saying choya? Somebody tell me. Um, okay, I'm not the only one. Choya. Okay, I've heard chola this weekend, and I was like, wow, am I? Okay, I'm glad. I used to say chola. Okay, well, at least you know what I'm talking about. So I think what I'm going to do with this new topper is I think I'm going to do a choya topper, and I'm going to slice all of the logs in half and silicone them directly onto the tank. I might be leaving Florida, which is really exciting, but also I'm kind of nervous about the heat part of things, because right now I don't have to worry much, if at all, about the heat. I do have heat pads, and everything has they're automatically monitored to kick on once they hit a certain temperature. But I would like to do a topper without a cork background because the cork doesn't really let the heat come through. So I think I'm going to do a choya background. That was a really long explanation, but there you go. More cutting for your husband. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do. He would like to order it ahead of time, and I'm at where I'm at my in-laws. They have an actual a real saw where they can just like saw everything for us. I think we're just gonna get it ahead of time and just come up here and do it before we actually do the move. I'm really excited. I think we're gonna be joining those of you with seasons, and we don't know what seasons are here in Florida. It's just hotter, and I'm very excited to have a little bit more variety in temperature. Thank you, Dakota. Thank you. It was my first time editing a video, so that was an experience. That was fun. Ooh, Christine, that's like from one extreme to another. I did come from Ohio. I'm not looking to go that far north, I don't think. I think we have settled on Charlotte, North Carolina, and we've also done some investigating into like the Richmond, Virginia area, but I think that's as far north as we're going to go. I'd be happy to not have seasons. Oof, I don't know. It is hot. I think it's about 100 degrees outside right now. Nice long growing season. Rita, I don't grow anything. I can't believe you're sitting outside. I know. It was the quietest place, and it was nice. It just got increasingly hotter though. Yeah, Virginia can get quite warm in the summer. We did a road trip last year and spent a little bit of time in Virginia, and it was quite hot for your new garden. Rita, I'm not getting a garden. I don't have time for a garden until you do. No, I did see. What did I see online? I was trying to convince my husband that we needed. It's like this lettuce. It has a lettuce. Oh gosh, what is this thing called? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, it does have my amusement park. It has Carowinds. It's actually one of my favorite theme parks, so that would be really nice to have a theme park nearby. Um, I'm looking up it is the Arrow Garden, and you can like grow your own lettuce and different like herbs and stuff inside. I'm trying to convince my husband that we have one or that we need one. Um, and he's like, you don't eat that. So why would, that's because I don't have an Arrow Garden, Joshua. That's why. Florida doesn't have any theme parks. They do have theme parks, but not the kind of parks that I like. I'm more of the roller coaster kind of guy. Like I love big, extreme, crazy rides. My husband's more of like the let's go to Disney or Universal type of thing. Get a green stalk. I'll have to look at that. I love my arrow. See, I hope my husband's watching on the inside on the TV and he's seeing all of the comments about the Arrow Garden. I'm trying to convince him that we need it. Hershey Park. Yes, I went to Hershey Park. I've been there a couple of times. We went there last year on our road trip, um, and we had a great time. Those of you who don't know, I did like a 17-day road trip last year where we went to a different theme park in the country each day. We traveled, I think it was like 4,000 miles, did like 18 theme parks. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, I just went to Cedar Point a couple of weeks ago. Cedar Point and Kings Island, Dollywood, and Kennywood was the last park we went to. Kimberly, I've been dying to go to Canada's Wonderland. Actually, we were talking about going on this last trip a couple of weeks ago, but we just got really nervous, like with the whole border situation and like, what if they tell us we can't come in or can't leave? So we decided to probably wait until next year. Went to Six Flags a month ago and it was horrid. Six Flags, listen, you can't go there expecting great things. That's all I'm going to say. Kelsey, Worlds of Fun is on my list. Next year they're getting a new coaster. So I will probably be at Worlds of Fun at some point next year. You guys are so welcome. We'll definitely connect anytime. Yes, you guys are so welcome. If you guys have any other questions on the topper, please feel free to shoot me a message or ask in one of the chats. I'll be around. You guys are so welcome. And if you guys are interested in purchasing that topper, the link is up there. Can you start over? I can't start over. I think this is recorded, so you'll be able to see it in the future for sure. Or just reach out to me, Stacy. We're connected on Messenger, so just feel free to shoot me any questions you have. Happy to ask or answer them. Have fun. I will see you guys in the other talks. Have a great CrabCon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.